All right. So Trump, tariffs, and the pain of real change. Again, let's talk about that. So you wanted smaller government. Elon's on it, right? And you wanted you wanted uh, you wanted cleaner food, less pharma, more nature. RFK is on it. You wanted American made, a strong future, real sovereignty. Well, Trump's on it. But now, I hear people starting to complain. It's affecting my business. It's hurting my profits. I've seen this before, though, I actually live it. People come to me. I'm having some technical issues, guys. Sorry here. People come to me to transform. People come to me to transform, and they say they want change, health, wealth, freedom, sovereignty, but they don't want to actually change. They want the world to evolve while they stay the same, right? How many of you have done that, right? You've gone through the process, and many of you are getting to the process. You've had fantastic change. Now, consciousness is changing, resurrection. I'll talk about that in just a second. Resurrection, the resurrection of the consciousness coming up. Right? Really amazing. And now some of your deeper patterns are coming out, and you don't want to change, right? You have to change. Again, let me just be perfectly clear. That's not how life works, guys. You can't stay the same and expect change. You really can't be who you are. People want their environment to change. You are the environment. So it violates the laws of natural intelligence. You want different results, then the root, again, the root cause has to change. Not the policies, not the branding, not the code underneath, but the code underneath. Again, not a new relationship, not I need a new career, not I need a new body, not I need, because more and more people are getting into all that stuff. You're getting the same results. You need to change the code, the cause. So Trump's not perfect, but and neither am I, but we both speak to the cause, not the effect. We don't patch leaks. We literally rebuild the system. And yeah, it gets comfortable. Some of you, again, who've gone through the process, it's a cyclical process. Okay. You go to a higher level, you cycle down, you cycle around, and you go higher. You cycle around, you go higher. That's a process. Again, a lot of you XIers who've been here before, fantastic transformations. You're going down on a down cycle so you can release and let go and go even further, higher. Right. But you'll see in today's society that people will cycle downwards. We'll talk about a bit more on that. So yeah, it does get uncomfortable, but that discomfort, that's not punishment. That's detox, right? You're seeing society go through detox, and you at a physical level, that's the body of civilization, society purging what's no longer belongs. That's why financial systems, religious systems, all those things are breaking down. Okay, next you'll start to see the religious systems breaking down. So that's the nervous system of the collective shaking out the static. What's the pain of change? Okay. And it's not a sin like religions tell you. Again, they got that half-ass right. And this is what most people don't get about resurrection. It's not a man coming back from the dead. It's a frequency returning to your system. A version of consciousness you were always meant to operate from, didn't. So it's not about religion, it's about recalibration. So resurrection is the return of the optimal human blueprint, and everything that isn't in alignment with it starts breaking down. That's why it hurts. That's why the economy feels strained. That's why systems feel unstable. That's why you might think, God, XI isn't working for me. But you know what? It actually is, because it brought you to that level, right? And now you're facing what, say, society is going through. So again, longtime XIers, you're facing what's you're still part of, and that you have to leave that behind. For those people who are new, whether you're doing XI or not, society is feeling the pain. Trump is just that spearhead that is leading the consciousness, right? He's just one of them, by the way. So if you voted for Trump and now your business is feeling the heat, because I get so many comments on this, guys, right? It's like, Moss, why do you like Trump? You can look at the economy. I have to pay more. So again, so if you voted for Trump and you're feeling the heat, let me ask you, did you want real change, or did you just want to feel better without doing the inner work? Because I promise you, just like every XI client who stuck through the pain, who let the detox happen, who faced the patterns at the root, they always say the same thing. How many of you have been out there, guys? Comment in. How many of you go, I'm not exactly too sure about Maz, especially when it gets to that point where you really have to break all the bullshit that you've living to live the life that you want, right? Exactly. Everybody says, thank you. I'm glad I stayed with it. It changed my life. How many of you have gone through that, by the way? See a lot of comments. And I believe the same will happen for this country. Okay. And again, it's not just about Trump, right? He's doing things great. He's doing things half-assed. He's doing whatever. He does need dose, by the way. Okay. The consciousness coming through, physical things have to happen. Right? So he's just following that lead, just like Elon did, just like many of you. The meek shall inherit the earth. That's what it's all about, right? That new consciousness. It's a resurrection. So we've spent decades fixing symptoms, outsourcing, cheap labor, political theater, social media rage, even empty activism. But if we let all that collapse, just think of it. What would happen? What if we just stop patching the illusion and finally reset the core? That's what many of you have gone through. Okay. Yes, it's painful and it's messy. How many of you have, again, lost friends that you thought were your friends, but now shit, they were just using me, right? It got messy, didn't it? Or some of you, shouldn't have been in a relationship, and then finally you come through XI, and it's like that relationship is broken. And then, like I said, when you stuck through it, you got healthier, you got better relationships, you made more money than ever without the sacrifice. So again, you can't build greatness on the rot of convenience. I'll say that again. You can't build greatness on the rot of convenience. And that's what most people are doing. So remember, the same media, by the way, as a note, the same media told you to inject, right? To inject a rushed vaccine, and now is telling you to hate Elon, to boycott Teslas, to turn on Trump. So again, it's not about truth. It's about control. It's about wearing you all down. Okay? And then it's like, where do I go? Which one do I choose? Who do I believe in? XI is about going inwards and trusting yourself, trusting your own path. That way you don't have to worry about who you believe with, who you're believing, who you're trusting. By the way, I'm writing the book. I've just finished the chapter on trust. So the people who've read it, it's like, oh my God, I wish I knew this like 20, 30 years ago when I was younger. Okay. Um, so again, they want you to stay in the confusion. They want you addicted to comfort, because when you're comfortable, you're numb. There's a Michael Jackson song, Morphine, kind of a crazy song, but that's what people want. It's like, trust in me. Have you guys heard that song, that Michael Jackson song? Okay. That's what they want, because again, when you're comfortable, you're not using your full potential. You forget your full potential, right? So think of it that way. They want to keep you in confusion. So people like Trump, like me, we're here to burn the distortion down, okay? So we can build something real, something coherent, something future proof. How many people really want something future proof? Isn't that the best legacy you can leave for your kids? Right? Not just money. You leave money, but then you leave the consciousness behind. It doesn't work out well, right? How many of you have inherited a shitload of money and then it's destroyed your life, or you just don't enjoy it, right? Exactly, right? So I'm not saying Trump has all the answers again, but I'll say this. If he raises his XIQ, his exponential intelligence quotient, just like you should, he or we become unstoppable as a nation. And then this is where we advance like the world. This is the way America should be. Again, America made great again, not through collusion, not through lobbying, not through controlling other countries like we have in the past, right? Not putting or destroying other leaders for our benefit, but again, real change, right? That's what happens. Because real change never comes from playing it safe, though. It comes from having the courage to delete what no longer serves. So to build something so structurally sound that the future never has to clean up the mess again. Right? That's what America, that's what we as Americans could actually be. Right? Cleaning up, not controlling more to feel good about ourselves, to go, hey, look, we're number one, but really doing the work, really going inward and cleaning up our distortions, cleaning up the distortions of how we got here, how we got to this level, guys. If you read history, it's pretty heinous. It literally is. The Mexicans, the Spaniards, all those great civilizations, the French, the Chinese, holy shit. The Middle Easterners, the Persians, they all were built on, society was built on the blood of the past. We need to clean up for that. And that's what this resurrection is about, by the way. Right? That's how we evolve. That's how we lead. That's how we make America strong again. From the source code, not through cover-ups, through coherence, not through control, through conscious correction, through detox, through resurrection, through real change. So again, we need to get into that space, guys. We need to dig deep. We really need to dig really deep and pull out the garbage of our ancestry. That's what it's all about. Uh, Canada needs to do this for ourselves too. Yep. Again, America led the path, right, to possibilities. Now we need to clean up ourselves and do it right this time, not get it half-assed.